Hi there, welcome to some of the latest news on the Noah Presgrove case. Welcome to this live premiere today. What we're going to be taking a look at up close personal, a Warlight Ref original deep analysis of close to the town of Terrell, Oklahoma, the casino. What significance is there with a casino and the case? Gambling away and it backfiring down the line in lies told and the truth coming out. Not quite, but you could use that as a form of a symbolism. No, we're taking a look at one of the private investigators who's been working on the case, helping the family through things. The family feel that they're closer to the truth now more than the past, which is positive signs. I did a video about that specifically yesterday with some key summaries. Credit to the Reddit poster to do with Kathy Bingham, known as the private investigator. But the point about the casino is where we focus today. For anyone interested in my previous coverage, important videos, after watching this one, because you don't want to miss out on this first, when you do get time, feel free to catch up on my other videos. To locate them, for example, if you hover on the screen right now where the eye symbol is, top right corner of the screen, click on that. There'll be like a drop down box and you'll find those other videos, the earlier ones. So Jay Slater case, what I did earlier on today. Feel free to watch it if you haven't already, very interesting. And then the two videos, roughly two, what I did yesterday. One with some very serious slanderous claims, make sure to catch up on that. And then the other one being the family's point of view, what they think of the case, what they found, how things have gone, and a summary of Kathy Bingham, who did an interview with Partners in True Crime recent time. But we're zeroing in on the casino, and I want to give a bit of a backstory as to what's gone on there. Then I'm going to present to you an official transcript. Now, in terms of how it's worded, the transcript is a little bit dodgy, but it has been passed on by, good people. When I say higher ups, I don't mean authority, but I mean within the community of Noah Presgrove, such as from Facebook, okay? But a transcript has been handed over to me and it gives like the timestamps of when things were said from that video, okay? Is it like auto captioned, and that might be why the spelling or the sentence structuring could be a bit dodgy, or maybe there's an overlap with people talking in the background, it could mess up, who knows? But that's why I just wanted to give you it from two different points of views. From my point of view of what I've heard, what I remember, and then what was supposedly actually said in the transcript. It was important to look at the transcript to see if any dates, times, years were given. Any months? None. That is very disappointing, because what we're looking at today, and I'm only being honest with you, it could be of 2024. At some time in the past. It could be a 2023. Obviously in 2023, that's what you want to see. And if it can be confirmed, that would be great. The closer it is to the time and the event of Noah Presgrove's death, probably more relevant to this supposed thing going on. The further away it is from that into the future, it's probably not going to link, because how long is a person or a group going to hold on to certain items, key potential evidence, right? So let me give you the backstory now. You've waited long enough. Then we do the transcript, and then we apply it on Google Earth, up close, visually, photos, the lot. So don't go anywhere. If you do want to support this channel, shout out to Poppycock and some other individuals recently, the one with the green profile picture, and the other individual, I can't remember the names, but shout out to all those people, very, very good with the super chats and the super thanks, responded back to them just recently. But if anyone else does want to support this channel, down below in the comment section, pinned, you find some links, ways to do so. So it's much appreciated. And yes, welcome to those that are in this chat right now. Share your thoughts, opinions, reactions. And in general, you want to elaborate, you got any questions, leave them down below under this video, because we're getting deep, we're getting creative and original today. But the backstory of all this with the casino, it's to do with the possibility that Noah Presgrove's hat was disposed of in a bathroom of a casino near to Terrell, right? And it was supposedly caught on camera and it was seen. in terms of the footage, does it still remain? That's kind of unknown of. I'd be thinking it's probably long gone by now if it's mainly been overwritten with other footage with time, but it was in the bathroom and it was to do with three guys, three supposed party goers from that party at the time with Noah's death, and one of which was identified. So who could those three guys be? Would it surprise me if Jack played a role within it? It wouldn't surprise me. So who are the other guys possibly? Jack Newton, Mikey, Brylan, Isaac. People say Isaac probably is innocent in this case due to how he broke down and got very emotional at the highway. But then you could equally say, well, supposedly from how the story's gone, when it came to Jack Newton getting back to the house, he supposedly buried his head into a pillow or something and seemed quite impacted by it. Just because a person shows emotion at a time when it normally is required or expected with human behaviour, it doesn't mean that they're 100% innocent. They might just be playing the role of a typical human displaying typical normal emotions, but it's put on for display. Different ways of looking at it, right? I'm not directly saying that Isaac is innocent. I'm not directly saying Isaac is guilty, but I'm just saying in general, you know, you can put on emotions to get what you want at times, or you could put on emotions to appear like the wounded animal. And to be honest, a form of deflection, it applies to the Jay Slater case, possibly to an extent with the analysis that I did earlier on with their reaction response. As for people of interest at a point that were last known to see Jay, catch up on that for reference and context there, okay? So, it seems pretty short. It seems quite simplified. You got three party goers at a casino. My question is, what's the age to go to a casino? I think in the UK you got to be 18 or over, and if you're under 18, got to be with an adult, okay? An actual casino. We're not talking about like a little arcade place with the odd few slot machines. We're not talking about like a diner or a restaurant, a bar where they might have like a slot machine in the background. No, we're talking about a full-on proper casino, right? You have to be of a certain age to be able to enter. If the laws within the area are you got to be 21 years old to drink, how old do you need to be to gamble and visit a casino? Is it the same age? Is it less? If anyone can explain down below, that'll be appreciated, okay? But, you know, if they got in, they must have been welcome, they must have been allowed in the first place. But yeah, inside a casino, three partygoers guys, supposedly, possibly with Noah Presgrove's hat. So it's not even confirmed. Let's be realistic there. As for the date, that wasn't even revealed, nor the year. So that's very limited as well. But the same about the hat appears to look like Noah's hat. Interesting. But this could be a Dylan Rounds case situation all over again. But just on the basis, the theme of throwing clothes away. When you're normally out and about, do you normally take off some of your clothing, or you just got clothing on you and decide to dump it in a bin? A casino, a bathroom of all places, would you normally do that? Maybe not, unless you have a group of guys, friends, playing a prank, a joke. You grab someone's tie or you grab someone's backpack and you chuck it in the water, or you chuck it in a bin. It can happen. Back in high school, when it came to wearing school uniforms, you'd have a tie, a clip-on one, and that was done so people couldn't use a proper tie to strangle you. Says a lot, doesn't it? But at the time, it was how it was. That some people had the ties pulled off and then they were chucked into a bin, right? As like a prank, a joke, thought it was cool, funny, and it annoyed the other person. Is there a small chance that that's what happened in this moment at whatever time back then at a casino in the bathroom? Messing about, one guy grabs the other person's hat, which just so happens to look like Noah's, and then chucks it into the bin. Is it retrieved then? That wasn't mentioned, right? And, you know, if so much time has passed by since, you know, the longer it was when it happened, you know, further back then, the more relevant it is to the case, likely, I would say. But the further back it is, the harder it is to probably get a hold of that footage, and let alone the hat itself. If it was chucked into the bin, you know, bins get taken out and thrown away to wherever, rubbish tips, landfills, piles. So there will be moved on with time. So if the hat was, you know, thrown into the bin in 2023, and you think now, oh, maybe we'll get a search warrant to search the area, just wouldn't be possible. As for the CCTV recorded footage, same with that. It probably would have been deleted or overwritten with newer footage. Now, it sounds quite negative, but I'm just being realistic before we get into it. We can expand and open up on the endless possibilities, of course, but I just wanted to be honest with you. Now, if you want to see the transcript, or more so from the horse's mouth, we'll do that right now briefly, because a few extra details are mentioned. Well, here we are. You see the times on the side, and this is the transcript supposedly from Partners in True Crime. I mean, if you've watched the video yourself, you can, compare and contrast the notes here, because sometimes what you may hear from the video may be different to what you see in the transcript, because there might be some additional words mentioned which you didn't quite hear in the video. I think that applies probably with the dispatch calls, but the time on the left, that means 34 minutes and 43 seconds into that 1 hour long video podcast interview. Okay. So at 34 minutes, 43 seconds, it says, can push your luck only so far. Have you heard anything about the casino? I'm guessing that's the question asked by, is he called Rob, Cindy, the host of their channel. And the response is, yes, we have. Yes, we heard something about the casino where and eyewitness apparently. Okay. Right, I get. It's just been spelt wrong. So, to do with the casino where an eyewitness apparently saw 3 of the boys who were at the party take Noah's hat and put it into a hat that resembled Noah's hat, let me be clear, and put it into a trash can. Right, so they corrected themselves from the looks of it. So in short, that there was an eyewitness at the casino in the bathroom. That eyewitness was likely a male, I'm guessing. Does it mention bathroom though? Because that's what I heard it mentioned earlier. Eyewitness, 3 boys at the party. It's weird how to say 3 boys who were at the party take Noah's hat into the casino. So basically, is this implying that it's 3 guys from that party in which weeks, months, nearly a year later attended a casino and then got rid of the hat? That's probably how it should be worded. What do you think of this, for those watching right now? Noah's hat. More specifically, a hat that could resemble Noah's. Yeah, thrown into a trash. So it's not 100% confirmed that it's Noah's hat, but it is one that does resemble what Noah was wearing from the party, right? And the hat did go missing. It wasn't found, right? I guess it applies to Jack Newton's hat as well. So there were some missing items from that party. They were taken, stolen from those others at the party, and then disposed of them later. Exactly when and how long did they hold on to them for? And of all places, why would you dispose of the hat in a casino, in a bin, right? You could get into the wrong hands. Someone could search the bin, find it at the time. And I mean, I guess I got lucky here, possibly, but however you disposed of other things, and why didn't you treat it the same way with a hat? Why not bury it in the ground? Why not wash it in a lake or a pond nearby? It would have made more sense. But anyway, the 35-minute mark, they say, yes, it was in the bathroom. Yes, I'm actually working on that now. Right. So the eyewitness that saw partygoers from that party who were in the casino bathroom, the eyewitness was probably a male. Okay? And that male eyewitness, how do they know that those 3 guys are from the party? Is it because they know him? Is it because they were a partygoer themselves? Is it because they're a local and they've seen them before back then, so they remember their faces? Is it that this eyewitness reached out or was reached out to by the likes of this person, in which said, do you know anything? And then showed party footage or photos of the partygoers, and then it was matched and said, yeah, I saw them. I remember that face. They were in the bathroom at such and such a time. But it's being worked on in the background, waiting on a call back. I mean, that's very suspicious to me. Yes, so I'm hoping they still have the video, CCTV, so I can go look at it. Will allow me to. If not, then we'll have to go and probably get a search warrant if they still have the video. So if a search warrant was to take place, it's not directly for searching for the hat, but more so the video footage, because as you know, it's happened some time ago, the bins will be changed and things will be moved on, including the hat in a bag. 35 minutes, 28 seconds in. Yeah, I'm hoping they still do. I don't know how long they keep those videos for, but have you talked to them? Person who made the statement, yes, I have. Okay, did she know who those individuals were? Did she recognize them? And then it said, recognized one of them. One of the guys was identified as a party goer, for sure. Okay, so we have you actually have an eyewitness, yes, and an identification. So you can say with confidence that at least one of the three guys that was in the bathroom, the one disposing of the hat or just part of letting it happen, was from the party. Was it Jack Newton? Wouldn't surprise me. But it's just interesting how it's mentioned that all three boys were from the party. One was confirmed and identified to be from the party, and you just assume that the other two were as well. I think the best way to identify would be is just compare the faces. If you could identify one guy, we'll try and find footage, media, photos from that party of the two other guys, right? If it's the names what we can think of and remember, it should be easier to identify. If it's someone like one of the Texas boys, that could prove a bit harder if they've not really been documented on camera in any of that, party footage. Because trying to identify people in the background when we did it, it was pretty difficult. We couldn't really tell who was who. It would have to be up close with the camera like how Noah was, or Jasmine, or Avery was, or Jack, Shandy, people like that. But this is all to do with guys. So these three guys, when did it happen? What year? What month? It's okay saying that we may need a search warrant. It's okay saying, fingers crossed, that we can actually go there and find the footage of it can be passed on. But at the moment in time, that's kind of irrelevant. The main question is, when did this happen? Recently? If it's happened recently, the chances of getting a hold of that footage is a lot higher. The chances of it applying, though, to the case is a lot lower because it's this late on. Though, in contrast, if this event supposedly happened much earlier on into the case, the chances of it linking are much higher, but the chances of the footage still remaining is a lot lower. Like pros and cons to this, right? And you think of a casino, this was the thumbnail title, well, just a thumbnail of my video, right? Inside a casino, CCTV cameras. I mean, it might sound silly this because I don't pay attention, but is it normal to have CCTV cameras inside of bathrooms? And where the camera's pointing directly at the urinals inside of the toilet cubicles, does anyone use CCTV footage like that to spy on people when they're in compromising positions? I mean, in a case like this, yeah, it can benefit and help because if key evidence was disposed of, it could show up. But, in other situations, scenarios, is it a bit like breach of privacy? But at the same time, I know where public space, cameras, surveillance, it is what it is, but are the cameras pointing in awkward positions? You get what I'm saying, right? But the question is, was Noah's hat disposed of, right? Was it even Noah's hat to begin with? Because this is the thing. Yeah, you could get a hold of the footage, but then what do you do from there? You'd have to try and track and locate that hat and maybe check for DNA and to confirm, is it truly Noah's? It might look like his, but you can get many out there that are the same or look similar. It's like with the Dylan Rounds case. The problem with that was you had an individual out there claiming to have found or passed on a finding of a John Deere hat. It's in a rural area where other farmers are and further afar, and John Deere's a popular brand and all the farmers out there wear John Deere hats, including Dylan Rounds. So really, you find one, oh, that must be Dylan's. That's not directly to say, it could be somebody else's who was passing by. In this case, what branded hat did Noah Where at the party, I can't quite tell, to be honest. I didn't pay too much attention to it. But it is a missing item, so will it ever be found? And where would it be found? Well, if it's dumped in a casino in a bathroom and then that bin's taken out and then taken to the nearest tip site, landfill, whatever you call it over there in America, and you'd have to go from point A to point B and then start rummaging around there. How long will that hat survive for, and won't it be buried by more excess rubbish over and over again, like a needle in a haystack? Maybe I'm thinking too long term ahead, right? But just want to put into perspective. Let's look up close though to do this casino. What does it really look like, and how far away is it from the party? Well, here we are. Now you'll be familiar. We do have all these markers up. We don't need to read each one out in this moment in time, but the markers are the reference points to the places of interest from Noah's body where it was found to the party house, and that's what we can use to measure and compare the distance of the Terrell casino. Now, when it was first worded to me, people said it was near to the house, but obviously it's not near to the house because there's nothing nearby really in terms of a casino. Nothing resembles that. We go down here, which is south, you got Terrell, the town. We flip the screen, you can see, runs alongside that highway heading north, which reaches the zone of Noah's body. And just before that, off that turn point on the left, highlighted in purple, is the party house just here, okay? So you get an idea of where things are and what it looks like. Terrell here, a range of different houses. If you weren't familiar with what it looks like on ground level, we'll just do that just now. At first, when it was worded to me and when I saw the article, I was thinking, oh, Terrell, the casino is somewhere here. And I was thinking, I don't remember seeing a casino. It didn't stand out to me, right? And that's because it's a bit further back, and we'll get to that in just a second. But that is heading north as if you were going to go towards the party, okay? And from the perspective of those coming away, would be coming down here, okay? Passing that mini-mart, if that's what it's called, and going further south down that way to the casino. It'll make more sense. What we have here is that mini-mart in which there's surveillance and cameras, and there was claims made. Was it by Stevie Howard? I know it was passed on by Jack Newton because he saw it himself, that there was supposedly no traffic on the day of Monday. Yet you had the likes of Tyler and Tyler Hardy that were driving down the highway, which was further up, okay? And obviously the range of these cameras can only cover so much distance. So it is limited, and there are blind spots further on. And as well, further down that way north, there are some points where you can actually turn off and go around the back roads of the town of Terrell, out of sight. So I thought I'd just throw that in. For most part of it, I don't know if it's an insult, no offence to the people that live out there, but it does look a little bit run down or needs updating. I mean, it's rural, so it'll be limited to things, of course, and as for surveillance as well, but people do and make do with what they've got out there. But it does transform, because I just wouldn't expect a casino nearby. So if I just click that off for a second and we go to Terrell Casino, it's actually nearby. And boom, there you go. Big car park. To be honest, the car park's actually bigger than the building. That's interesting. Yeah. Welcome to Oklahoma sign. Okay. Some storage containers there. The actual area nearby to this casino, how important is it? I mean, interestingly, it's near to the Texas border of Red River. So any Texas boys that could have been in that bathroom at the time of the casino with maybe Jack, that would be a bit interesting, right? So can you see the casino here? It's right here. Can you see Terrell just a bit further up that way? And then beyond is the party house highlighted in purple with the house symbol. And then further up where the blue symbols are, it's like to do with the body. So it's not that far away, in fairness. You could make it there and back, especially more so in a vehicle as what most people would do, right? My question is, the 3 guys that attended this casino at whatever time it was, party goers, were they only in one vehicle, or were they all in individual vehicles, I wonder? Now, if it will let me measure, we've got photos there, so that's a big positive. People will know how we do things around here, regular viewers. But if I was just to measure distance, and it's only rough, okay, to put into perspective, zoom out because it's done quicker. And you get an idea of how long it could take as well. So from the casino to Terrell, it's about 1.24 miles or so roughly. Okay. If we go all the way down here and to the party house, whether that be to replicate all on the same day or the following weekend, okay, you might wonder, how could the following weekend have anything to do with this situation at a casino? Because there was a theory or a concept going around in the background that this second party, which occurred the following weekend, was like a get-together where people got the story straight as to what happened, what will happen next, and, you know, clearing the air, like a debriefing. But to be honest, it wasn't exactly successful because people couldn't get the story straight after that, could they? Because it was switching and changing. But nevertheless, in terms of just an outright party happening the following weekend, that was confirmed by a range of different people. I think Caden Pressey mentioned it, possibly, but more so it was Justin Roy from what he's heard of, because he's like a local roughly in the area, roughly, I think, or at least was roughly in the area of it going on, but I think it said like some like Red River or the opposite side of Warwick. But, you know, nevertheless, okay, one thing for certain, Justin Roy did have family that were down at the party house at the time, and in some way or another probably would have found out about the party following the next week. My question is, though, okay, that on the basis of another party following the next weekend, who attended it, and was there any social media post or photos made? I wonder, right? Nevertheless, if that's what truly happened the following weekend, anyone that was at that party who may have been involved in the death of Noah Presgrove on that same day or close to could have left that property and gone on down to the casino, right? And if they did, what you see on screen, 3.07 miles is the total distance from the party house down to the casino just past Terrell, the town. Okay? Still not that far. If we was to ignore that and measure it up to Noah's body, it's roughly 3.66 miles, right? Still very, very doable. If we go back to the casino, if it will let me, let's go on Street View first of all. Let's see what it looks like. So, unfortunately, we can't go into the car park. What a shame. But if I can try and zoom in to get an idea of what the building looks like, where the cameras are, that could help. We've got an overhead power line there. The roadway it turns off. This is still called the US Highway 81. That's interesting. This is my first time looking here on ground level. So I'll take my time just to absorb it all. Appears to be like some kind of field there. It's marked off. There's like boxes, electricity or telecommunication. Maybe linked with the overhead lines, and it's away from the public. Down there, a road which goes on and on and on. The car park, pretty quiet, but let's be real. The population within the area isn't that high. It's a rural area. So it's interesting to see a developed casino in a rural area. In terms of the average salary, household income, I mean, it must be somewhat okay for a casino to be here, because as you know, casinos can drain you, especially if you keep gambling and stuff. But, you know, I'm sure people can control themselves for most part of it. But this is called River Star Casino. Notice, maximum occupancy not to exceed 50% of the building capacity. Oh yeah, you know what, man? We're gonna build a car park as big as we like. We're gonna park all kinds of cars in a car park. By the way, the building's too small. If it exceeds 50% capacity, we got a problem. You got that damn right? Do you know what? This is like a microcosm at the party house. A relatively small building, but 30 to 40 people being bunched in. Bloody hell. You know, even Noah's Ark had more space, and elephants and giraffes were getting onto that. Hey, this is a great start. Now take in mind, as we do go throughout this video, if my voice or my tone does change, just know as a disclaimer, it's not done in a negative way or to take it away from the Noah Presgrove case. It's that at times when you're dealing with very dark cases and tragedies, there's got to be a little bit of lightness within, you know? Other cases in the past, victims, families have even confirmed that themselves. You know, not joking around in the name of the dead person, but just the community, the environment, because if it's always dull and serious, you won't perform the same way, right? Just a bit of looseness here and there, just like how people do in the chat, because people do appreciate and approve that. I'm only giving this disclaimer because there'll be a wide range of new viewers coming into my channel for the first time and may misunderstand me. Just know it's all under control, and when we need to lock the F on, I will, like an F-15 fighter pilot plane, man. But, you know, you get the idea. This is the casino which Kathy Bingham was talking about. Now, I did type in casinos. I tried changing the words around just to make sure there wasn't any directly in Terrell. I couldn't find any. This was the only one that showed up, okay? So this should definitely be the casino. And by whatever chance, you know how Google can be dodgy, you know how the US can be dodgy, how they've got multiple bloody names of the same locations or different locations with the same names and all kinds of stuff going on, right? If whatever chance this wasn't the spot, because I'm just being honest, we can still use this as a placeholder because it's the theme of a casino, okay? A casino is a casino at the end of the day, and it's trying to work out what happened in a place like this. Is it relevant to the case? The people that were involved are relevant to the case because they're here and then they were there. But in terms of what they were carrying with them, how relevant is it to Noah Presgrove? Was it an act of disposing of evidence or just messing about and it was harmless? Will we ever get answers? So there you go. Look how big that car park is as well. The building, it's relatively small, if I'll be honest with you, okay? But you take into consideration with it being Terrell or nearby, smaller population compared to a city. I get that. You can see a person leaving. Can I see any cameras? Well, I can see like a white object, which could be a camera or a light, but it does look awfully big. Now, there will be cameras inside, of course. You will get a lot of surveillance at casinos when it's definitely to do with money, of course. That's fully understandable. So yeah, already, boom, I can see the CCTV cameras, I believe, one of which could be on one of the light posts, which is to the car park, and you'd get CCTV cameras there for the car park because I don't know if you've got to pay. Do you have to pay the car park, or can you stay there for as long as possible? There appears to be either multiple lights or cameras, likely cameras lower down on these lamp posts, I believe, with all these poles. There's more poles here than the poles that I've created in my live chats recently. That says a lot. The poles are coming back, the army of them. But I can see like a lot of white typical CCTV cameras scattered around the perimeter and, you know, to the car park as well. I get that. Now, if there wasn't any footage remnants from the bathroom, could there at least be footage CCTV in terms of the outside, as for like when the people entered and left afterwards, and how long did they spend at the casino? And what were those three guys doing at the casino in the first place? Is it something that they've done in the past? Is it a normal thing? Or were they primarily going there to dispose of the hat? I doubt that. I don't think you would cover so much distance, like 3 miles or more, to head on down to here, an established place with surveillance and cameras, to say, oh, let's go into the bathroom. And you know what? We've got Noah's hat with us. We've took it with us to the casino. Let's now dispose of it in the bin. That seems like one of the most amateur, silly things that I've seen. If there was a slight level of thought and consideration of, well, maybe we were responsible for Noah's death, and maybe it was near or on the land of the party house. Well, let's move the body further up north and dump him on the side of the highway. There's a level of thought there, right? We're going to dispose of something, someone, key evidence. in plain open sight, but it's away from where it may have happened. That follows the theme of possibly disposing of Noah's hat. Disposing of it in a way of plain open sight, probably being aware that you're on camera because of CCTV, as you would expect wherever you go in public in these businesses, establishments. Disposing of it in a bin. Sometimes people may dispose of clothes in a bin, sometimes it's done as a prank, but still, if it was obtained, found, I mean, it could be of value and it could incriminate them. And just the footage itself. But honestly, and ask this as a question, and you can, answer down below. If on the basis that the CCTV footage remained of this place, right? What's the chance of it being used to incriminate people within the case and it being strong enough? Because if you don't have the hat, you can't confirm whether it really is Noah's or not, unless the people that have been found caught out in the footage who have then been interviewed have confessed themselves. But if they don't confess, then what happens? Does it just fall through? Is this a situation of where you need the footage to prove it, but you also need the hat as well? And there's a fair chance that both have been moved on or removed, literally, from the area. Is that a mole down there digging the grounds? Oh no. Badger life. Badger life. Looks like you got some opposition. We've got moles, I don't know, the badgers infesting the casino. You better hold on to your money, Badger life. It's going to become an auction house all over again. Right. Can you see all those white objects in the distance? That's supposedly cameras. And I'm not talking about lower down because I think they're parking bays and maybe for disabled people. But I'm talking about on the poles, the top of the buildings, as you would expect. Don't know where the entranceway is. I think it was around the side, which I already gone past. Let's go a little bit further down. And it goes round there as well. So you get an idea of the perimeter, the area. I did try doing street view, but it won't let me go on the back roads. There is I think, is that a house nearby? Don't think there would really be a witness to what's happened with him. Just click street view off, and if I can, there we go. So we got the photos here. We should get photos inside. Will we get any bathroom photos like how you do with the motels? I don't know, it's not guaranteed. But just to get an idea what it looks like inside. It looks like I was correct about those signposts to do with the disabled parking bays. I get that. But to be honest, yeah, I can still see some CCTV cameras around the perimeter. That's not changed. Some structure around the back. Is there a pond as well? I can see some water in the background. But yeah, what's your thoughts behind this casino situation and free partygoers going down to the casino? Is it something that's happened in the past? Maybe I'm reaching a bit too far here, but I'm just surprised that it didn't happen at the party. Like when Caden was saying how, early Sunday morning we went out to Warwick, ate, dropped off at the party house with the girls, and then the rest of the guys went back out town. It's from the place they came from, so I'm guessing Warwick. But I think there was a name drop of Caleb Newton. Could any of those guys or Caleb have gone down to this casino? Not to do anything dodgy, but just to simply have fun, have a good time. Are party goers or some familiar with this place? Have they been here before? The more familiar you are with an area, the more likely you are to return back to it. It's kind of like on the in similarity with the Dylan Rounds case or other cases out there where trying to figure out where a body could have been buried or taken to within a murder case, true crime related, and there's a suspect or there is the murderer and you're trying to figure out, right, where would they dispose of a body? Are they lazy or are they fit enough to cover distance and put effort in? Are they likely to dispose of the body in an area that they're memorable of, that they know very well, so they do a better job? In terms of the Noah Presgrove case, you got a hat. Out of all the places you could possibly dispose of it, you think, I'm going to cover 3 miles south, go down to the casino, be caught on camera, go in the bathroom, and then put it in the bin. It's one of the most stupidest things, right? Why would anyone do that? But that's what's been claimed. So, we're inside here. And to be honest, there's a range of people there present. There's some TV screens as well. And that looks like UFC cage fighting. I can see someone in blue shorts. I don't know what match that is, but, you know, what is it, 2023? Interesting. This is by Catherine. Any Catherines watching right now? I don't know. But, yeah, you got the slot machines as normal. It's laid out fairly well. Why do casinos always have outdated, dodgy-looking carpets? My God, need to update yourself. You need to get with it. You know, what the hell's going on there? Is this like a bar section in the middle where you can order alcohol? Obviously, that would be significant here because regardless of the timing, well, no, it actually does matter to an extent depending on the ages of the people at the time and then onwards. But, you know, you've got partygoers at the party, underage drinking, breaking rules, laws. The three guys, as classified as boys in that time transcript from Partners in True Crime, those three boys were at the casino in the bathroom. What else were they doing here? Were they gambling money away? Were they at the bar ordering alcohol? But what about their age? Wouldn't they be underage? Were they with anyone at the time? Okay, there was three guys from the party supposedly who were caught on camera, well, possibly caught on camera, but seen by a witness who was there themselves, whether they worked there or not. Three guys in the bathroom. But you never know. There could have been others as well there who were still in the casino that just didn't go to the bathroom at the time. Caleb could have been there on the slots. You never know. Right? Three guys with another group or with one of the parents out there. With a parent as well, because they might be allowed access in there easier, or they're just hanging out together, whatever. If Caleb's there, Jack could possibly be there. Just suggestions, right? So who you see and identify in the bathroom don't mean to say that they're the only ones. There could be others in a casino, but elsewhere in the rooms, the buildings, all together. There's always that possibility, right? That's the outside view. Oh, okay. So that entrance head on. Couldn't quite see that because that long entrance way from the outside, that overhang roof. So I guess cars can go underneath it and drop people off maybe. Okay, fair enough. Looks good visually. Oh, someone's won some money. I don't know what that actually means. 7,919 credits. Is there anyone watching right now that uses slot machines? Me personally, I've never actually used a slot machine, like a proper one. You get like the games online, fake ones, messed around with that, but that's about it. Some flags there. US, we the people. Of course. An outside bit. Looks like one person's leaving there, a bit of motion blurriness. But for most part of it, these photos are pretty quiet, whether that be nighttime or daytime. Interesting. Ooh, very wet there, isn't it? But good sunset in the background. You know, it's good looking at dark photos as well within the area because you get a better sense of things, of how it actually looks out there if you're not familiar with the place and how it could have been for Noah in certain areas. Now this is, you know, got a wide array of light, so it's going to appear a lot brighter here, but in the distance you see the silhouettes of the trees and stuff. Yeah, kind of contrast. Christmas tree. Okay, so this is a little bit out of date. When is it though? 2022. You know what? I didn't really pay much attention to it, but is there a very small chance that at any point could any of the footage, what we see on screen, may have captured any of the party goers or their vehicles parked up, or the parents of the party goers parked up at this casino? You never know. On the basis, if it happened in 2023, well, it just so happens that there is certain photos which date back to 2023, like this one on here by Modesto Cervantes, by, which other one? 22, 2018. Come on, man. Where's the other one gone? 2023. You get what I'm saying? To an extent, it could apply. You think of the relevancy of it. Jackpot winner. $2,400. Congratulations. Please wait for an attendant to validate your jackpot. Oh my God. Big shout out to Maria. Well done, Maria. Winning the jackpot. There we go. think Badger Life is in the background as well, winning some as well. Now, who took this photo? Future Transport. Okay, whoever that is. What about, where was the other slot one? That one here. Oh God, this guy was called Bob. A person called Bob is on the slots. Badger Life, we've got trouble. The feral animals are coming on in, gambling away their money. Oh God, man. And we've got this here. Is it called Roulette, I think? Red and black is what it is. Sky Rider, Max Stacks, 3 games. Okay. Some credits there. Bet 150. What's that so? This one, blackout. Lightning multipliers. Respin. Take in mind that this, what we're taking a look at today, is not advertising nor encouraging gambling. Just thought I'd mention that because you know what people can be like. Quick hits, super wheel. Okay. And some cherries along the way. Bet 25. God, come on, that's amateur, man. Got to be cranking up to 1,000 per spin. You need to get a grip of yourself. We got Kathy Waters' pet pegging parrot on the right-hand side, still lingering around. And a person that looks like Marissa with that dodgy haircut. Oh my God, what an attitude. Oh no. I mean, this is the thing. In all seriousness, if they are serving food here besides typical alcohol, if some of those partygoers guys that are at this place at the casino, they could have been getting lunch here as well. You never know. At that moment, they were actually selling a turkey melt. Oh no. I didn't know the turkey giveaway was back on the menu. How many people received one? I don't know. And we got the chili burger. I never thought the time would come back again where I've got to review food, just like how it was done in the past. I hope it's not half chewed already or spat out like how it was back then. It was terrible. Oh no, what is with that carpet? Oh my God. I think what the casinos have done have used dodgy carpets, like mesmerizing you, almost like a form of, what do you call it, hypnosis. So you're walking on in, you look at that carpet, it brainwashes you, you're almost in a trance and you walk to a slot and then start pulling away like crazy. I don't know. But yeah, the carpets always have that pattern or dirty look behind it. Why not just have cleaner floors or something, or a different carpet or something? I'm not an expert, but I don't know. 2024, so this is more recent. SL. Now this is by a guy from the looks of it as his profile, but when you think of SL, you think of the initials Sarah Long, but obviously it's not Sarah Long. But you know, wouldn't it be interesting that if when you were looking at some of these photos or areas, whether it be reviews or post photos uploaded, it could be by some of these individuals. Maybe we could do that in the future. You know, if you go on Google Maps, right, people review establishments, places where they've been, where they've visited, a park to a pet grooming salon, hairdressers, tattoo place, a bar, a restaurant. Could any of these places have been reviewed by any of the individuals that we know of? I wonder. Sounds a bit random. What would they have to say? I don't know, but you got to look for these little hidden clues in the background. You never know what may be dropped, right? Oh, a pig. Is that a pig? Don't worry, there's no hunting. Don't be shooting me. Okay. Win. What's that? $39. 1,900. Mega. Is that 12,000? Well, okay. Oh, the sandwiches. The hell? Why does that look? Why have they used paintbrushes? It looks like they've used paintbrushes because one of the ends looks like it's still got black paint on. Oh, sorry, I was just finishing off painting one of the bathroom doors, but here you go. Let me just use this paintbrush and shove it through one of the sandwiches you're about to eat. You know, it might have a bit of a different taste, but it's acquired, isn't it? But my God, how thick do you want those sandwiches? Can you even get it in your mouth? Well, to be honest, from how some of the gobby people have been in this case, I'm sure they could fit 2 in at once, to be honest. And then you got those potato bites, the hashed potato bites in the middle, served on a red plate. Red, the colour of Noah Presgrove, his favourite colour, quite fitting. But yeah, okay, we've got some sandwiches there. Is anyone hungry? At least you're in good condition, because some of the stuff I've seen, a lot worse for wear. And you don't believe me? Well, you try me. Go back to my previous videos and you'll find out. Now, as you see, 2020, no bathroom photos. And that might sound a bit dodgy, asking for bathroom photos, but you know, in all seriousness, you want to get the layout of the place. What does it look like inside? Where the cameras are potentially positioned, where the bin is aligned. It just would have been good to get that full perspective, but we got close enough, I guess. So I just want to give you my final thoughts and opinions, so don't go anywhere. What are the chances that there'll be a follow-up with this, what we've been looking at today, and from that transcript and what's been said by Kathy Bingham in most recent time, because it's only been brought up for the very first time just recently. So if it's only been mentioned just recently, does that mean it's only happened just recently? Not exactly. I am disappointed no date, time or year was given, even if it was just the year as to when it happened, unless they're being very tight-lipped about it or they genuinely don't know themselves, they just remember hearing about it. But surely that eyewitness would have remembered what year it was when it happened, because there's a big difference between 2023, 2024. In 23, more relevant to the case. 24, less relevant, but more likely to still be fresh in getting a hold of some kind of proof or evidence that it did happen. And even if they got footage of it happening and the people are identified further in the footage, what about the hat itself? Where does the hat end up? Where did it go? Nearest landfill, tip. Maybe we do a follow-up on that to put it into perspective, right? Okay, we heard about the golf clubs, the bag being moved from one place to another and then moved on again or destroyed completely from the trash pile around the back of Jack's place of living. But for a personal item, possession of Noah's to be taken possibly to like a public place and then disposed of, it just seems a little bit, odd. Surely you would know there were CCTV cameras about, right? But I do feel like there will be a follow-up and update, because she said she's working on it in the background. And, even if it led to a dead end or it was debunked, hopefully it's publicly acknowledged, because you can get a lot of mysteries or supposed events along the way. But how much of it is true? How much of it is BS? But as long as it can be cleared up, reinforced or debunked, that's all that matters, right? Now, if you wonder why my eye contact is a bit all over the place, because that ginger cat, Bruno, is outside and I keep looking about. It keeps distracting me. And sometimes when I'm outside, if I'm doing some exercise, he stalks me. Naughty cat. Any other cats? I don't know. But linking back to the Noah Presgrove case, who could those three guys be? For me, it could be Jack Newton and the other two, Texas boys or not, I'm not too sure. Likely they would have to have known each other and probably friends to be hanging out in the first place, of course. I'm just interested. You can let me know your thoughts down below to what you think and how relevant you think this is, and would there be a breakthrough if it is resolved this or found and reinforced? Is this like a significant event we just focus in on now and put everything else to the side? Well, you can't really go any further past this point until there is a future update. Can still circle around other pre-existing events or supposed events that have been talked about. I just wanted to do a bit more of a focused video today, more hands-on, right? I think it was just the right timing to do so. So I hope you found the video somewhat interesting. Feel free to maybe like and share this video so more people see it from my point of view, and me being realistic as to the long-term effects of this supposed event within the case. Now, you saw yourself, Kathy Bingham did correct herself in terms of wording it as for Noah's hat to an equivalent, something that looks like Noah's hat. So being careful with wording there, it's good that they corrected themselves or made the attempt to, of course. Do I think it is Noah's hat? For it to look like Noah's hat, it depends how common that type of hat is within the area. With the Dylan Rounds case, John Deere being very common in those areas, rural Utah and beyond, right, you can't get your hopes up. But granted, in that case, the hat was found not too far from, in a way, Dylan's body, but it was never confirmed, so it was probably ruled out in the end. In terms of this situation, Oklahoma, Terrell, higher population compared to the likes of Luce and Utah by far, okay? And beyond in other directions too, if people come and go and pass in between, like even going to Duncan but coming down to Terrell, like how some of the party goers did, like how I believe Noah did as well. So at the time of the party, so if any hats were lost at the party house and remained there, other people could have taken them and moved them on. But in terms of the location, for me, it makes it hard to believe that it is Noah's hat, because of all the places you could dispose of it at, you choose a public place which has cameras. And in terms of the timing of it all, I mean, if this is like 2024 or late 2023, you're telling me that these people or a person from the party house may have had Noah's hat on them all this time, even though it was in a way reported or deemed as a missing item in the case, and you're going to be risking walking about with it after all that time, or eventually going to public whilst holding it, wearing it, or carrying it somehow to then dispose of it. I don't know, it just seems a bit weird and odd in terms of the disposing of it. If the hat was, outright near to Noah's body, that would have, made more sense just to dispose of it, because the interesting thing, and I just want to add it on now, so don't go anywhere, right? There must have been a reason for Noah's hat to not be on him when his body was dumped on the side of the highway. Is that because it's more likely for his hat to fall off in the process of him being killed, knocked to the ground, being picked up and dumped and moved on? Yes, a hat's more likely to fall off in situations like that where there is movement and force applied, or even wind, the weather. Your hat can fall off like that. Your shorts don't fall off, do they? If they're fitted or they just are the correct size for you, they're not going to fall off. In terms of the shoes, although mismatched, supposedly the same size as Caden, so they probably still would have fit the same way. For shoes to fall off, hit with force, for him to fly off like a hit and run, but that wasn't the case here because they remained on him at the time. In terms of other ways the shoes pulled off, if you were being dragged, that could be like with the Dylan Rounds case where the boots came off if you were being dragged. All depends as well, the fitting of the shoes, regardless of size, if they're laced, Velcro. Sometimes if it's a slip-on shoe, it'll be easier to slip off than a tied lace one where you got to undo it, right? And I think there were laced shoes, what Noah was wearing, Hey Dude and his Adidas one, as you'd expect, but it depends how tight they were tied, but nevertheless they remained on, so that's not much of a concern there, and not even a concern in the eyes of the potential party goers who didn't think to remove them. But someone or something thought to, those shorts that Noah's wearing, whether they be Jack's or Noah's own, as Caden said, they were black, so they were Noah's, either way, someone or something thought there was a need to remove those shorts and to take them away, right? Must have been a reason. Is it because the shorts contained possible DNA and evidence on it, and it could have been incriminating towards some, so they thought, let's get rid of him, let's clean him, but we won't dispose of them, supposedly, on the basis that they were Noah's, the black ones. Let's put aside Jack's narrative of borrowed shorts, so we're focusing in on Noah's black shorts found on him on the highway at a point and then later removed, tampered with after Caden left. Those black shorts supposedly washed, passed back to Dale and Presgrove. Very interesting how the shorts would be passed back to family members of Noah Presgrove, but the hat wouldn't. Is there a hierarchy with certain clothing? Oh yeah, we're going to make sure that Noah's body is dumped on the side of the highway without his hat. Is it because the hat just naturally fell off at some point at the party house near to in the disposing or the potential murder of Noah Presgrove? The hat just falling off and then someone picking it up afterwards and then just taking it back into the house, or keeping it safekeeping themselves because Noah's body was already dumped by then, along with the shorts still attached. And then later on afterwards they thought, you know what, okay, the hat isn't on Noah's body but the shorts are, and it could have DNA on, we need to remove them as well. Okay, why weren't the shoes removed as well? If you're going to take the shorts away, you might as well take all the other clothing away. Okay, if a person's going to be naked, they might as well be fully naked. You want to go to the extreme. My question is, if the hat somehow remained on Noah's, head, body when he was disposed of, would the same thing have happened with the shorts as there would with the hat? So If the shorts were removed after the dumping of the body, because people may have double second guessed and thought, we forgot about the shorts. They might still have DNA on. We need to get rid of them. We need to take them off and clean them up or something. Would the same have been treated with the hat if the hat was found on Noah's head on the side of the highway? Would that cap have been taken off him like with the shorts and taken elsewhere and then both returned back to Dale and Presgrove or any of the family members or not? Is there a hierarchy of evidence in this case? And how would it be disposed of? If on the basis that Noah Presgrove's hat was disposed of in a public place, a casino with surveillance in the bathroom, it was very amateur, right? In plain sight on record as well. Obviously not important enough just to chuck it away like that, where anyone could get access to it if they rummaged through the bins, right? And if there was a need to search at the time. But maybe they felt confident enough that no one would question or search through the bin. But could there have been a process of cleaning that hat down before getting rid of it? Maybe, right? Washing it down in a washing machine or a pond, a lake nearby, the party house or beyond, I wonder, right? So, you can look at items which are missing, other items that were once missing, then found, and then other items that were missing, found, and then not retrieved, and then went missing again. In terms of all of that, okay, where does it rank on the scale of the hierarchy when it comes to Noah's hat? Is it high up on the spectrum of importance, in the middle, undecided, or really low down, not important at all, okay? In terms of Noah's phone, his new one that's supposedly in possession with the police, right? In terms of the chain, whether that be the actual necklace, complete or just part of it, well, that was found on the side of the highway next to Noah's body. In terms of the shoes, well, they were found on him, and then the other one being in possession of Caden, the Hey Dude one. But in terms of Noah's other shoe, which was probably left at the party at the time of when he put on the other wrong shoe on, Noah Presgrove's Adidas shoe, one of which missing. Noah Presgrove's hat, missing. Noah Presgrove's wallet, I think, missing. But why would you take a wallet with you down to a party if there's no payments needed? Unless it was in the process of earlier on Sunday when they all hung out at Warwick gas station and paid individually for meals, and then later returned back to the party house all together as one. And by then Noah had his wallet with him anyway throughout the day, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong about the wallet situation, but in terms of the different items which are missing, were they all dumped and spread out or so? If a hat was dumped at a casino, where was Noah's shoe dumped at then, if it was dumped at all? And were any of the other items cleaned like the supposed black shorts were? Okay, and how would it rank on the hierarchical list of importance of evidence, right? Evidence is evidence, it should all be treated importantly, especially when it's like a crime scene. And I guess in this case, with how maybe authorities handled it, or the lackluster strictness behind it of supposedly Jack being allowed to move the shorts and put them in the back of his truck as he claims, and then them being folded afterwards, handled multiple times already, and likely Jack wasn't wearing gloves at the time on the highway, so tampering with evidence, moving it about, and those that tampered with the body supposedly in the first place before the police got there officially. So, if it's screwed from there, then it can be screwed beyond, right? And it can go both ways. Normally, you'd think the most important evidence, such as the body or a phone where it could ping locations, that would be dealt with first, of high importance, especially if you're on the receiving end, like the ones responsible for it, taking someone out. They'll be thinking, you know what, we need to get rid of this, but we need to do it good, we need to do it right. In terms of a shoe or a shoelace, it's evidence, but we don't need to prioritise that just yet. The only thing that's different in this case is there's a handful of people, quite a lot of people from that party, 30 to 40 people. How many are involved in the case then? If it was arranged, well then you could argue and say that, well, there was enough people to be able to work things out and dispose of different items in different places at the same time, because there was enough different people allocated to different roles and tasks. But even if that was the case, multiple different people all have different mentalities of what they see fit as what they see important and insignificant. So if they're tasked with disposing of a shoe, another one's tasked with disposing of the body, they might think, well, you know what, I think it should go over here. And the other person thinks, well, I think the shoe should go over here. But then both are disagreeing with one another in terms of, no, that should be there and this should be here. I know, things like that, if there were any disagreements with time, but surely they must have been all in disagreement in agreement at the casino to chuck that hat in the bin. No attempts made to collect it afterwards. But, the CCTV footage would be interesting to see the body language, the behaviour. Are they laughing and joking when disposing of the hat in that bin? Is one getting pressed by it, frustrated because it was their own hat that was disposed of and they're not going to fetch it out of the bin because they don't know what else is in there? Toilet paper and stuff like that. So could it just simply be a harmless prank, but too much is made about it, but it could be tied with the Noah Presgrove case? Well, we'll obviously find out if there is a follow-up, but this was the focused video, and I just had those additional final thoughts just then about the other clothing and scenarios. I think that was very important to mention. So thanks for watching, and as I said, you want to like and share this video so more people see it from different points of views, that'll be appreciated, and hopefully you found it interesting. We'll leave it there for now. We'll see what happens next. Goodbye, good night.